Hi, everybody. This is Sandy from Real Progressives, and I'm coming to you to talk today about the Los Angeles Times editorial piece by Bernie Sanders, entitled Bernie Sanders, I support Hillary Clinton. So should everyone who voted for me. Of course, that's in stark contrast to what he told us in April, which was not to follow him and not do what he said. However, it's an interesting piece, and I thought that we could go through it paragraph by paragraph. All right. So he talks about the conventions being over. The general election's on. He describes how many delegates he got, 1,846, he says. Pledged delegates, which was 6% of the total. That's a lot of people, okay? Supposedly, Hillary Clinton received 54%. We all know that that may be problematic, okay? We know that there may be issues with election fraud. We know that these lawsuits are going on against the DNC. So I'm not taking that 100% seriously by Bernie saying that. However, he has his reasons, and we might go into those a little bit more. He continues about bringing up the fear porn with Donald Trump, how he would be a disaster and an embarrassment for our country, and we all know this, okay? And he's been saying it, others have been saying it, but we're not supporting Trump. We just want something different, okay? So Bernie, you should know that. You know, you started opening us up to this. So he goes on. He said, you know, more of the Trump, the same. His campaign is not based on anything of substance, improving the economy, and he hasn't talked about education. Fine. Okay, we know that Trump is divisive. Enough with Trump. So he does talk about every major issue, the difference, but he also says that Secretary Clinton, Hillary Clinton, supports basically most of the platform, that she's gone from a centrist and she's moved to the left. Well, do we really think that? No, I say we don't think that. I say Bernie's been either sold a bill of goods or he subscribes to the party's fear porn that everybody is pushing who is supporting Hillary Clinton, okay? But for us, Bernie or Bust is busted. And Bust has moved on. Okay, we have moved on. We're moving on to the Green Party because we see a place where we fit. We fit in the Green Party because the Green Party's platform aligns with those of us that supported Bernie for that beautiful platform, not because he was a Democrat, but because the platform resonates with us. You know, it resonates in our hearts. I've got, you know, a thing, to me, when he says, oh, can Clinton bring the nation together, he says. Unity in the party. Okay, so we already know that again, that's a bunch of hooey, and we've shown that the background scenes at the Democratic Convention showed that there was no unity. Seat fillers, the supporters, the Bernie delegates, they walked out. It was a bunch of hooey, and I honestly, I don't know why Bernie is succumbing to this, other than pressure from his peers. He's a senator. He is an inside guy. You know, he knows more than we do, but again, I am not sure that he can actually come out and tell us to continue on our quest for a progressive movement, okay, in the Greens. Because even if he went back to the Independent Party, he's still entrenched in that Democratic mindset, okay? It's not really his fault. I believe he's stuck in a system that he can't get out of. And at 74 years old, is he really going to? I believe that Bernie has opened the door. He has brought us to the water, and we are drinking. We are drinking the water. And Jill Stein, she's giving us clean water to continue. So I've also read a lot of things that said that we are outliers, okay? The Democrats are trying to portray the followers of Jill Stein, the people that don't want to blindly follow the Democratic lead as outliers. And they really want to push that Clinton has moved towards that populist left. And of course, we know that Sanders used the convention for his ideas. We've heard them. We've heard them many times. In fact, it reminds me of the piece that I watched, Robert Reich. And he did the piece on, please don't leave the Democratic Party. Please vote for Secretary Clinton. That was Robert Reich. He had such a pained look on his face, almost as if either someone had a gun to him or he was really, really frightened. Robert Reich had said, okay, work on a new party in 4 years, you know? But of course we're going to work for a new party in 4 years. But we're starting it now. We're not going to wait. And as Steve Grumbine says, we're not going to become passive, which happens a lot of times when the Democrats become in power, because we think, oh, okay, everything's taken care of, but it is not, okay? It is up to us, the people that are continuing the revolution, the people that really care about each other, to pick up the pieces and move on, okay? So here he says, all right, he talks about the Supreme Court. He's very, very scared, as is Robert Reich, of the Supreme Court nominations. And he says that Hillary Clinton will support justices who are prepared to overturn many Supreme Court decisions like Citizens United. But do we forget that Citizens United is what enabled her to have donations in the zillions of dollars and would not be in her best interest to overturn. So I really don't know. I don't have an opinion on this other than my gut. My gut tells me that I think Hillary's a liar, and I don't think she's going to do those things. And I think either Bernie is in denial, like a lot of the Vote Blue people, as I discussed with my article on Vote Blue families, that they are going to blindly follow our beloved Bernie. Now I say, okay, we love Bernie, but would we follow Bernie off a cliff? No. And I think we're at that proverbial cliff right now, okay? And we don't want to go off it. So we're finding solace in embracing the Green Party. Bernie doesn't understand that because, and even if he does, he can't articulate that to us. You know, I was surprised when I read that opinion piece in the New York Times. In the LA Times. I really was. Because if I was Bernie at this point, I would really just sit back and let all the other pundits do the work. And I would enjoy the fruits of my labor, if I was Bernie, and continue just doing the work of the Senate, the work that has to be done to elect down-ticket Bernie-crats, which a lot of us are doing. It's not just green people we are supporting. We are supporting those down-ticket people that have the same agenda that Bernie did. I don't understand why Bernie had to write this piece, because he would be so much better served and serve us so much better by discussing the down tickets and how we can support them and what we can do, way more than this fluff piece on Hillary Clinton. It's frustrating, and a lot of us are frustrated. And truthfully, we are not outliers. And I have to say that because when I read that in one of these wonderful Clintonista type Democratic support rags, it made me quite angry. But you know, anger has come to me. I've never been so angry, I think, politically, even though I've been around a long time. It's the worst I've ever seen it. So let's go on. Of course, he's talking more about Trump and the Supreme Court. And he says, Clinton understands that in a competitive global economy, we need the best educated workforce in the world. Well, we all know that. The Green Party and Jill Stein aren't saying anything against that. Of course we want that. And he says that Clinton has bought into the guarantee of college tuition help for families making $125,000 a year or less, which he says is 83% of the population. Okay, so what happens? Clinton gets in office, and the pressure from her owners, her corporate owners, which we all know are corporate owners, is tough. I think the education legislation that's going to go by the wayside. She's got a lot of debts to pay to her owners. So I honestly think that once we get there, if she gets in, forget about it, as they say. Forget about it. Okay, so he goes on to say that Trump, on the other hand, has barely said a word about higher education. We know that Trump doesn't even understand higher education. Oh, all right, but do we have to keep beating a dead horse? We know this. So he also talks about climate change and that Hillary Clinton understands that climate change is real, caused by human activity. Well, we do too. That's why we're migrating to the Green Party. The Green Party stands for everything that we want. And to wait, like Robert Reich said, another 4 years and build up a party, we can't afford to do that. We have to show them now. We have to show the Democrats now that we mean business. By Dem exit, supporting those Berniecrats that really have the agenda of our hearts in their hearts. But if we sit back and say, oh, okay, let's follow Robert Reich and let's just wait, we'll vote for Hillary and we'll see if we can get anywhere. Do you really think that by supporting Hillary Clinton, we really are going to get anywhere? I think not. I think that we will be railroaded, blockaded, obfuscated, every word you can think of that will try to squelch our voice. And I'm sorry, but we have a voice. And I see it every day on Real Progressives. I see and hear it on other pages. I understand that you people are out there and you want to fight for this. And that's why we're here, because we're going to fight with this too. We're going to fight for you and with you, right alongside the battle lines for this revolution. And it just makes me laugh when, they talk about this party unity. Where is it? I really don't know too many people personally that are supporting Clinton. I don't know why Bernie thinks that people like her. Yeah, the elitists may. They have something to lose. What they have to lose is their cushy jobs, or the way it is now. They have to lose because we know now they're going to lose. Eventually, they're going to lose because we are rising up. We're rising up. And that rise is not going to stop. And I believe it's going to be meteoric. All right? I've been around quite a long time. And this really is the biggest, the most put together movement, way bigger than Nader's movement, that in my years I've ever seen. And I'm so happy to be a part of it because I can't sit back and watch the status quo or live the status quo. I personally can't do it, and neither can we at Real Progressives, and neither can you. You can't afford to do it, okay? We have kids. We have grandkids. We have to think about their future, okay? Yeah, climate change is, let's see, the Trump people don't believe it, or they don't know, or they think it's a Chinese plot, or whatever it is. Well, we know that that's ridiculous. And if Trump got in, we would definitely work that much harder to show where it is definitely happening, and we can blow them out of the water, But it's also contingent upon you guys getting out there, spreading the word about electing your congressman, electing your looking at the 2018 elections, looking at 2020, but working now, and assessing what happens in November. Because no matter who wins, there is going to be a statistical analysis of all the people that voted green, and that is definitely something that's going to help us to motivate, move, and propel us for the future. And if we don't do that, and if we do sit back, like I said, sit back, okay, and just vote for the Democrat status quo, how are we going to know how many of us are out there? Okay? How many of us are out there? There's a lot of us. Okay. I get worked up. But let's go on. So he says, Clinton understands that the country must move toward universal health care. Maybe she thinks so, but do you really think that Clinton, who is beholden to the insurance company lobby and their money and all of the corruption, the drug companies, big pharma, do we really believe that she is going to work towards single payer? Do we really believe that she is going to support really gutting the insurance industry? Getting rid of big pharma's hold on us? Do you really think that? If you don't, then you're a Green Party person. And I don't want to argue with the people out here maybe watching me that are supporting with Clinton, but you really need to listen, because if you're truly a revolutionary, you're going to understand that it is critical, really critical, to buy into us now. Not wait, like Robert Reich said. He's such a nice man, but he doesn't have any balls. I gotta say it. Now, Jill, on the other hand, she's got him. She's got chutzpah. She's got what it takes. This woman opens her mouth. She knows what she's talking about. She's educated. She's been at this a long time. And she was ripe and ready to take us in, okay? Ripe and ready. So when you listen to the healthcare hooey, I don't believe for a minute that Clinton is going to give up her cushy insurance company money and support. Because if she gets in, she's only going to want to court that support for the next election when she has to go up against God knows who. And we hope it's not. But we have to look at the realism of it. That's why we have to build this movement as big as we can. Okay? So that's the health care. He says, oh, she wants to lower the outrageously high cost of prescription drugs. Okay, well, we'll see what her masters in Big Pharma say. I don't see it. I'm jaded. What can I say? I'm jaded. I've been watching. I've been reading. I don't see it happening. For God's sakes, I pay $750 a year for health insurance for my husband and I don't see it changing unless we really do continue what we're doing. Don't sit back and think, oh, they're calling us outliers, and they think that we're just a bunch of kooks, because we are not. Okay, we are not. We are professionals. We are rank and file. We are everything. We encompass diversity. We've got a lot of people on our team, and we got to continue this, guys. So when you read something like this, yeah, it's very disheartening that Bernie did write this piece. I wish he would just sit back and say, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. I don't understand it. I mean, I'm sure he didn't write it with a gun to his head, but I don't get it. Unless it's just because he is 74, and a lot like my parents' generation, he buys into the fear porn like my mother, or like my brother, you know, in a certain socioeconomic stratus that feels that they have a lot to lose, but there's a lot of us, we don't have anything to lose. So, I mean, we don't. We have a lot to gain, not to lose. So Bernie says during the primaries, his supporters and he began that political revolution. Okay, yeah, maybe he did. But he stepped back from it. Yes, he has his website, Our Revolution. I was on it. I looked. There's only 4,000 and something likes. Why is that? You know why that is? Because everybody's going to the Green Party. That's why. And, I mean, while I would love to see that successful, I'd love to see Bernie's Our Revolution successful. Right now, we really have real business to attend to, and that is voting for the Green Party everywhere we can, okay? He says he understands that many of his supporters are disappointed by the final results of the nominating process. But then he goes on to say, but being despondent and inactive, he said, is not going to improve anything. Who's inactive, Bernie? Open your eyes, babe. We're not inactive, Bernie. We still love you. We're always going to love you. But nobody I know that's in this movement is inactive. Heck no. So he says going forward and continuing the struggle is what matters. So on one hand, he tells us we're inactive and we're despondent, but then we have to go forward and continue the struggle. Well, we're going to continue the struggle, but it sure as hell isn't going to be inside that Democratic Party. It really gave me pause today to read this. And I think it probably gave a lot of others, and that's why I'm here. That's why I had to respond to this, get a leg up on it, especially before the Democrats and the Democratic rags take it out of context to where they can put Bernie up on their little stage and say, see, you guys, you're losing. Well, we're not losing. We're not losing. I think we're going to win. Maybe not the election, but we have a war and a battle to win. And guys, I know you're all ready. So I'm going to close this by saying that I really do appreciate this platform. I appreciate being able to share what is important to me and to everybody at Real Progressives and to millions of people. You know, I don't think we're the new silent majority, though. I think that we're going to be the most vocal majority, and we are going to get a seat at the table. CNN is even going to interview the Green Party for the platform. We're going to get that seat at the table, but we need you to do it. We need the numbers. We need you to talk to your friends, not argue. A lot of argument, a lot of screaming, yelling is going on the pages out there between the people that will blindly follow Bernie off a cliff and those of us that actually have a mind and can think for ourselves. It's unfortunate. I hate seeing the fighting. I don't like the word calling, name calling. I don't like any of it. I like rational political discussion that respects each other's opinions and tries to educate, because the only way that we're going to be able to help these people overcome their fear and inability to understand that a third party can be can be viable is by talking to people rationally. And I know sometimes that's hard because of my own family. I know that. My own brother, called us the Bernie bimbos. Couldn't believe that we fell for this shit. And what shit? We didn't fall for anything. We're the realists. I don't live in $1 million house. Far from it. So those of us that are ready, ripe and ready, here we go. Okay? Don't be despondent over Bernie's article, because he may have said we were despondent over him losing. Yeah, we're pissed. We're upset. We cried. We felt it. It's a week after now. We have to get over it. Those of you that haven't gotten over it, you got a place to live. You're here with Real Progressives for a reason, okay? But there's no despondency anymore. We needed a week, and we got on track. We got on track. Maybe it took me a little bit of an emotional upheaval, but I got through it, and so can those other people, So thank you. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you very much for being members of Real Progressives, and continue to watch our live streams, continue to read our articles, and we've got a YouTube channel now, and we're on Twitter, and we're growing. We're growing, and it's because of you guys. We're growing. So I'm going to give you my little rah-rah there, because I am the ever-optimist person. Yes, I was crying when Bernie did lose, because I knew the ramifications, but here we go. Dem exit. Watch Claudia. She's in Houston at the convention, so you're going to get a lot of good information, and I'm going to sign off from now, okay? Signing off from now till we meet again, my friends.